What does rap royalty look like at home? It looks like Jay-Z and Beyoncé perched above the Pacific in a $200 million concrete masterpiece. Like Drake's 50,000 square foot palace glowing beneath a 20,000 crystal chandelier. And like Rick Ross' 109-room estate anchored by a 350,000-gallon pool. This is what rap royalty really calls home. Let's take a look inside. Jay-Z and Beyoncé Malibu oceanfront mansion. We begin at the very top because nothing else on this list, nothing else in California real estate history comes close to what Jay-Z and Beyoncé did in May of 2023. In a single all-cash transaction, the Carters quietly dropped $200 million on a brutalist concrete masterpiece sitting on a cliffside bluff in Malibu's Paradise Cove, a stretch of coastline so exclusive they call it Billionaire's Row. $200 million in cash, no mortgage, no negotiation theater, just a direct wire transfer that in one move shattered California's record for the most expensive home sale ever recorded. A record that had only been set 2 years prior by their new neighbor, venture capitalist Marc-Andre, at $177 million. And here's the part that makes it even more extraordinary. The property was never publicly listed. It was pocket-listed, quietly offered behind closed doors with an asking price of $295 million. So when the Carters walked away at $200 million, they were getting what the reports described as a notable discount on what was already the most expensive home in the state. Celebrity real estate broker Kurt Rappart of Westside Estate Agency represented both the buyers and the sellers, keeping the whole thing as discreet as the property itself. But what exactly did $200 million buy? It bought 40,000 square feet, precisely 39,363 gross square feet per contractor records, sitting on 8 acres of dramatic Pacific oceanfront. It bought a home designed by Tada Ando, one of the most celebrated architects alive, a Pritzker Prize winner whose work in the United States is so rare that only a handful of his residential projects exist in the entire country. The design took over 15 years to complete, not because of bureaucracy or budget overruns, but because of Ando's exacting standards, his philosophy of what he calls critical regionalism, a belief that architecture must be in deep conversation with its site, its geography, its light, and, in this case, its ocean. The numbers alone tell part of the story. An astonishing 7,745 cubic yards of structural architectural concrete were used. The result is a monolithic L-shaped compound of raw concrete forms that feels simultaneously futuristic and ancient. Critics have compared it to a supervillain lair, a sci-fi sculpture that has somehow grown out of the rock itself. The facade is floor-to-ceiling glass meeting raw concrete with massive swimming pools, at least 2 prominent outdoor ones that catch and reflect the Pacific sky. There are expansive patios, a cabana, a flat grassy lawn perched right at the cliff's edge, and direct private beach access below. The estate was originally commissioned by art collectors William and Maria Bell, heirs to the soap opera empire Behind the Young and the Restless, who spent approximately 15 years planning and constructing the home as both a home and a private gallery to showcase their blue-chip art collection, including works by Jeff Koons. The Carters, who have their own deep ties to the art world through Jay-Z's investments in Warhol, Bassett, and beyond, inherit a space that was quite literally designed for the purpose of living alongside great art. Inside, the limited glimpses available reveal vast open-plan spaces defined by raw concrete walls, gallery-style surfaces designed for large-scale contemporary works, and the kind of clean-lined, high-ceiling rooms where the architecture is the decoration. And through every window, through every floor-to-ceiling glass panel, the Pacific Ocean, unobstructed forever. Drake the Embassy. Coming in at number 2 is a property that did not just make a statement about wealth. It made a statement about identity, loyalty, and legacy. Drake's home in Toronto, the one he calls the Embassy, is a 50,000-foot monument to the idea that where you come from matters as much as where you end up. Because Drake, Aubrey Drake Graham, the kid from Degrassi, from Forest Hill, from the city that the rest of the music industry used to overlook, chose to build his defining home not in Los Angeles, not in New York, but right back in his hometown. And he did not build something nice. He built something that would, in his own words, stand firm for 100 years. The story begins in 2015 when Drake, then 27 years old, acquired a roughly 2-acre parcel at 21 Park Lane Circle in Bridle Path, Toronto's ultra-exclusive neighborhood, often called Canada's Billionaire's Row, for approximately $6.7 million. The existing mid-century home was demolished. Construction began around 2016 and wrapped in late 2019 to early 2020. After several years of meticulous, obsessive, Uncompromising work under the direction of Ontario-based luxury designer and builder Ferris Rafaeli. The result is estimated today at approximately $100 million in current value. An appreciation so staggering it almost beggars belief from that original land purchase price. From the outside, the embassy presents as a modern Beaux-Arts limestone palace, a structure that could plausibly be a consulate for a very wealthy nation, which of course is entirely the point. Two cause sculptures flank the grand entrance. A 10-car garage accommodates Drake's legendary collection of automobiles. The security infrastructure alone reportedly cost over $1 million with specially approved extra-tall fencing and gates over 15 feet in places, AI cameras, reinforced perimeters, and an entire forest of 6 mature trees planted specifically for privacy. Inside, the Great Room announces itself with 44-foot ceilings and one of the largest chandeliers in the world. A monumental custom bronze and solid marble piece featuring over 20,000 hand-cut Swarovski crystals modeled after the Lobmere Metropolitan chandelier. Beneath it sits a bespoke Bosnorfer concert grand piano collaboratively designed with artist Takashi Murakami set into a dramatic Macassar ebony portal with bronze screens and antique mirrors. The master suite runs to 3,200 square foot plus 1,100 square feet of covered terraces and features a one-tone-on custom H's Grand Vividus bed with a hidden whiskey and champagne bar built into the headboard. The adjacent two-story closet displays sneakers, wardrobe, and Hermes Birkins alongside rock crystal details and diamond-tufted shearling seating. The master bath contains a 4,000 pounds black marble bathtub carved from a single slab. Then there is the indoor NBA regulation basketball court branded the Ohio Center or the Sanctuary, complete with custom October's very own owl branding and a 21 square feet pyramidal skylight overhead. There is an indoor pool sheathed entirely in black granite. There is the canary yellow lounge featured in multiple music videos with a foliate ceiling of concentric backlit hexagonal Alcantara panels and a massive Vanini glass sunburst chandelier. There is a world-class recording studio. There is a dedicated room chronicling Drake's entire life from childhood through Degrassi to the Grammys. Every detail from the 20,000 crystal chandelier to the single slab marble tub underscores what Rafaeli described as overwhelming high luxury executed through noble materials and museum-grade craftsmanship. Drake himself has called it a reflection of his true faith in myself and a permanent Toronto statement piece. The embassy is not a celebrity home. It is a work of art that happens to have a bedroom in it. Dr. Dre Brentwood Chateau Mega Mansion. There is a very specific kind of timing that defines the best real estate moves in history. And Dr. Dre pulled off one of the cleanest in the business. In the summer of 2014, Apple completed its $3 billion acquisition of Beats Electronics, the headphone and streaming company that Dre had co-founded with Jimmy Iovine. Within weeks, Dre was in escrow on a $40 million mansion in Brentwood, one of Los Angeles' most prestigious and private neighborhoods. The property had been originally built for NFL quarterback Tom Brady and supermodel Gisele Bündchen, who acquired the raw 4-acre parcel in 2008 for $11.75 million, then spent approximately $20 million more over 4 years constructing their dream home before listing it at $50 million in 2013 and eventually accepting Dre's offer at a $10 million discount. The home was designed by celebrity architect Richard Landry in a country French chateau style. Limestone cladding, reclaimed wooden ceiling beams, salvaged tiles, antique wooden doors and shutters, marble fireplaces, and wood floorboards that give the entire compound the feeling of a centuries-old European estate that just happens to have ocean views and solar panels. At 18,298 square feet across 4 acres, the estate features 5 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, a library, a gym, a sauna, a home theater, a wine cellar, and a chef's kitchen, all with ceilings running 12 to 15 feet throughout, well above the standard, giving every room a grandeur that feels genuinely earned rather than forced. The exterior is where the property truly earns its place on this list. A winding driveway leads to a cobblestone motorport and a bridge that crosses a moat-like koi pond with a natural waterfall. A detail so cinematic it barely feels real. The 4-acre grounds include expansive lawns, manicured gardens, additional ponds, pathways, an infinity pool with cabana, and a mini golf course. And in a detail that tells you everything about how Dre thinks about his spaces. The estate features a gray water irrigation system recycling household water for landscaping and 2 solar panel arrays generating enough energy to power the entire property, self-sufficiency built into the architecture itself. The interiors blend sophisticated neutrality with subtle green and blue accents for what the original designer described as a Mother Earth vibe, using reclaimed wood and marble throughout. But the piece to resist stones, the thing that makes this $40 million chateau specifically uniquely Dr. Dre's, is what he built beneath it. Shortly after purchasing the property, Dre added a massive 10,000 feet subterranean music studio beneath the structure, carved directly under the house, matching the main structure's footprint below ground. This is not a home recording setup. This is a professional-grade world-class sound production facility buried under a French chateau in the hills of Brentwood. It is in every sense exactly what you would expect from the man who produced the Chronic 2001 and the Compton album, and who has spent his entire career insisting that sound quality is not an optional extra. The estate survived nearby 2025 Los Angeles wildfires untouched, a testament to both its positioning and its construction, and continues to stand as one of the most elegantly realized properties in the city. Kendrick Lamar Brentwood Modern Farmhouse Compound. If Dr. Dre's Brentwood Mansion announces itself with a moat and a drawbridge energy, Kendrick Lamar's Brentwood compound does the exact opposite. It hides, and that is entirely deliberate. In 2024, the Pulitzer Prize-winning rapper, who had just spent the better part of a year dismantling Drake's reputation in the most celebrated hip-hop beef in a decade, made an equally decisive move in real estate. He quietly acquired a gated Napa Valley-inspired estate in Lower Mandeville Canyon in an off-market transaction for a combined total of approximately $42 million. Approximately $32.5 million for the main home plus approximate $9.5 million for the adjacent lot. No press release, no Instagram post, just a deed filed with Los Angeles County and a new address for one of rap's most private superstars. The main residence was custom-built in 2018 by Los Angeles architect Philip Bertov. The previous owners, Viet Den, former Fox Corporation chief legal and policy officer, and his wife, Jennifer Ashworth Den, had acquired the site in 2019 for $19.5 million and completed the modern farmhouse vision before selling to Lamar at a price reflecting nearly 100% appreciation in under 5 years. The sale was brokered privately through Christie's International Real Estate, keeping the whole transaction as off the radar as Lamar himself tends to prefer. The compound sits hidden behind gates on Westridge Road, surrounded by lush grassy grounds and mature landscaping that makes the entire estate feel more like a retreat than a residence. The main house runs to 16,200 square feet across 3 levels, 9 bedrooms, 15 bathrooms with an adjacent guest house, a tennis court on the second parcel, and a private driveway that separates the compound fully from the world beyond the gates. The architecture is modern farmhouse with genuine Napa Valley warmth, wood and stone trim facades, multiple gables, large windows with stone accents, and a design sensibility that prioritizes organic materials over marble and glass excess. Inside the home is defined by high wood beam ceilings, baked spaces, blonde hardwood floors, and reclaimed wood accents. The kind of warm, natural luxury that does not photograph flashily, but costs an extraordinary amount of money to execute properly. The primary suite features a double-sided fireplace, a private balcony, dual walk-in closets, dual bathrooms, and a spa that includes a massage room, sauna, and steam room. There is a wood-paneled wine cellar, a state-of-the-art gym, a tiered home theater, a gourmet chef's kitchen with Eden Island, and a secondary caterer's kitchen for large gatherings. The outdoor spaces include a resort-style pool with integrated spa, outdoor kitchen, cabana, a fireplace, loia, and distant ocean and mountain views from the elevated hillside position. The property sits positioned directly next door to Gwyneth Paltrow's former home. It is quiet, discreet, masterfully designed, and entirely on brand for one of hip-hop's most thoughtful, most intentional artists. Kanye West, Ye North Beverly Park Mansion. The story of Kanye West and real estate is like most things involving Kanye West, a story full of dramatic pivots, spectacular decisions, and outcomes that nobody could have predicted. You may recall that in 2021, White purchased a striking Tadeda and design beach house in Malibu for $57.3 million, then proceeded in the years that followed to gut it completely. Every interior stripped out, every wall brought back to raw concrete shell. The house, which had once been a marvel of minimalist coastal design, sat gutted and largely unusable. In early 2024, Why sold it for $21 million, a loss of more than $36 million on a single property in under 3 years. And then in October 2024, under an LLC reportedly tied to him and Bianca Censori, why purchased a $35 million mansion in North Beverly Park, one of the most exclusively gated communities in all of Los Angeles, home to neighbors including Denzel Washington, Eddie Murphy, Adele, Sofia Vergara, and Justin Bieber. The property at 72 Beverly Park Street was designed by celebrity architect Richard Landry, the same architect behind Dr. Dre's Brentwood Chateau, and built in the year 2000. It is approximately 20,000 square feet on a 6.79-acre lot with 11 bedrooms and 18 bathrooms. The architecture is contemporary with Mediterranean influences, sleek white stucco exteriors, clean lines, large glass elements, including a striking cylindrical glass feature, curved forms, and expansive rooftops with multiple levels and balconies. The outdoor spaces are resort-grade. 2 swimming pools, a tennis court that doubles as a basketball court, a paddle tennis court, a guest house, a separate entertainment pavilion connected to the main house by a modern steel-columned outdoor bridge, a gazebo, fire features, and pathways weaving through nearly 7 acres. At night, the property transforms into a glowing architectural statement with illuminated staircases and glass catching the valley light. Inside, the home was described as generously living spaces drenched with light. Light-filled, open, and designed for both intimate living and large-scale entertaining. The chef's kitchen features sleek wood cabinetry, a large central island, stainless steel appliances, and a bright breakfast nook surrounded by floor-to-ceiling windows, looking out over the greenery. The living room opens directly to the pool area. The primary suite features a custom closet, a marble freestanding soaking tub, his and hers vanities, and a window-lined spa with panoramic views. The home's HOA fee runs approximately $3,300 per month. A bargain, frankly, for the level of security and exclusivity that North Beverly Park provides. Whether this property becomes a long-term home or another chapter in Y's unpredictable real estate biography remains, as with most things in his orbit, an open question. Travis Scott, Brentwood Hills, Modern Mansion. In June 2020, at the height of a global pandemic, Travis Scott, Jacques Webster, the Houston-born rapper-producer who had spent the previous 3 years becoming one of the most creatively ambitious figures in popular music, paid $23.5 million in cash for a property that had originally been listed at $42 million. That's a discount of nearly 45% on a spec mansion built by the father and daughter design team DeLorean and associates led by Sam DeLorean, who marketed it with a modern yacht concept to maximize the topography. Sitting in a private cul-de-sac in the exclusive Brentwood Hills neighborhood and perched on a 1.06-acre hillside lot. The home is in every practical sense invisible from the street, completely hidden until the moment you arrive, which, given the way the driveway works, is genuinely theatrical. Let us talk about that driveway for a moment, because it is perhaps the single most memorable arrival sequence of any property on this entire list. The steeply sloped driveway dramatically terminates on the roof, creating an unforgettable arrival sequence. You drive up to the roof, you park on the roof, and then you descend into the home from above. This was not an accidental quirk of topography. It was an engineered feature, a deliberate architectural statement about the relationship between the structure and its hillside perch. One that Scott, who has spent his entire career thinking about the theatrical power of arrival and first impressions, clearly appreciated deeply. The home itself is 16,700 square feet across 3 levels with 7 bedrooms and 11 bathrooms. The defining exterior feature is the 75 FT glass tiled infinity edge pool with an underwater sound system that appears from the right angle to simply float off the edge of the cliff and dissolve into the unobstructed 180-degree panoramic views of the Los Angeles skyline, downtown canyons, and Pacific Ocean. Below, there is a rooftop garden. There is a cavernous lower-level 20-car auto gallery, essentially a showroom embedded in the hillside for Scott's legendary car collection. Inside, the home opens with a dramatic floor-to-ceiling carved walnut sculpture by Japanese artisan Toshi Kawabata paired with a 12 OOT living green wall that acts as a natural air purifier. The main level great room is a single open-plan space with a stone fireplace, multiple wet bars, and a gourmet kitchen featuring jet black marble countertops, Gaggenau appliances, double islands, and a breakfast bar. The lower level contains a 15-seat home theater, a state-of-the-art gym, a sauna, a game room, a full bar, and a glass-enclosed temperature-controlled 650-bottle wine cellar with tasting area. The entire property is equipped with Delos wellness systems for air and water purification and Crestron's smart home technology throughout. The penthouse-level primary suite has a private balcony with sweeping views, 2 walk-in closets, and a spa-style bathroom. It is in short a home designed for someone who thinks about sensory experience for living, and it shows in every corner. Lil Wayne Allison Island Waterfront Mansion. Lil Wayne's real estate philosophy has always been oriented toward the water, and in 2018, he found what may be the purest expression of that philosophy. A 10,632-foot contemporary waterfront estate on Allison Island, one of the most exclusive gated communities in all of Miami Beach. The property at 6480 Allison Road sits on a 23,760 square foot lot, just over half an acre on a private bridge accessible island of only 8.5 total acres with 24-hour guard-gated security, private beach access, and direct Biscayne Bay frontage. Wayne paid approximately $16.75 million for it in an all-cash transaction. He sold it in early 2023 for $22.583 million after listing at $29.5 million, turning a substantial profit on a home he had owned for fewer than 5 years. The home was designed and built by renowned Miami firm Chuff Levy Fishman, the same architects notably who had designed Wayne's previous Lagorce Island mansion, which he had sold in 2017. Built in 2017 specifically as a high-end spec home with no prior celebrity owner, it was purpose-built for this level of living, and it shows in every design decision. The approach is defined by a dramatic mahogany-clad entryway flanked by moat-like accent pools and floating iPood steps, creating a serene, fortress-like arrival. Out back, the home opens to a 110 feet of direct Biscayne Bay waterfront with a private dock capable of yacht or boat mowing. The architecture is tropical modern clean lines, extensive wood accents in IP and mahogany, and what the designers describe as floating elements that blur indoor-outdoor boundaries. The great room soars to 22 feet with multiple seating zones and retractable floor-to-ceiling glass walls that open the entire main level to the outdoors, the pool deck, and the bay beyond. The resort-style infinity edge pool with underwater lighting sits seamlessly between the house and the water, with an oversized cabana featuring an outdoor kitchen, built-in barbecue, television, dining area, and full bath. There are a 3-car garage, multiple wraparound terraces, and lush tropical landscaping that wraps the whole property in a privacy wall of palms. Inside, the grand entry opens to a 2-story open-air atrium with 2 20-foot living green walls of vegetation, natural air purification, and a botanical statement piece in equal measure. The chef's kitchen features custom Italian cabinetry, Sub-Zero and Wolf commercial appliances, and a large island. The home theater is lined with red oak flooring, Lake Como wood, and suede wall coverings with an oversized screen for the full cinema experience. The primary suite occupies its own world at the top of the home with an L-shaped private terrace overlooking the bay, dual glass and marble bathrooms, a custom walk-in closet, and a sitting area. Each of the additional bedrooms upstairs has its own private balcony. It is the kind of property that makes you understand viscerally why so many of the world's most successful people eventually find their way to Miami and to the water. Future Allison Island Waterfront Estate. We stay on Allison Island for our next entry because in November 2022, just months before Lil Wayne listed his property, future Nadius Dunn Wilburn purchased another waterfront estate there for exactly $16.3 million. The property at 6493 Allison Road, a new construction 2020 build, was originally listed at $19.9 million. Future secured it at an 18% discount with Douglas Elements Dina Goldner representing the sellers and Jordan Karp representing the buyer. The deal closed on November 2, 2022. No major renovations have been publicly reported since purchase. It remained a turnkey resort-style compound perfectly suited to a lifestyle that oscillates between maximum privacy and maximum entertainment. The estate sits on 75 feet of direct waterfront along a canal inlet in Biscayne Bay with a private dock for yacht and boat mowing. The home itself runs to 7,250 square feet in the official property records with 7 bedrooms, 8.5 bathrooms, a 3-car attached garage, a private elevator, a rooftop terrace, a media room, and Lutron's smart home automation throughout. The architecture is uncompromisingly contemporary, angular with floor-to-ceiling glass walls throughout the main living areas, high ceilings, and eastern exposure that floods the home with morning light off the water. The exterior delivers its resort promise fully. A private courtyard entrance with geometric paving and curated tropical landscaping, mature palms. Privacy-focused greenery separates the detached guest house from the main water-facing structure. The backyard opens to a resort-style pool with integrated spa, expansive pool deck for lounging, an outdoor cabana, a full summer kitchen and dining area, and seamless access via massive sliding glass walls. A rooftop terrace provides elevated panoramic views of the canal, the skyline, and the bay beyond. At night, the home glows. Architectural lines, illuminated glass lit from within. Pool lighting casting the whole compound in resort hotel warmth. Inside, the kitchen features custom ornate Italian cabinetry, a marble waterfall island and backsplashes, stainless steel appliances, dual sinks, and a breakfast bar. The primary suite on the second floor is a commanding retreat, a private sitting and television living area, a full wet bar with wine fridge, 2 oversized custom walk-in closets, a private terrace with panoramic water views, and an opulent ensuite bathroom featuring a freestanding white marble soaking tub, a large glass enclosed double shower, dual vanities, and sleek modern fixtures. Allison Island's tiny gated community of just 49 all-waterfront homes has become something of an unofficial rapper's enclave. And with both Future and Lil Wayne in residence within doors of each other, it is easy to understand why the island's 24-hour guard gate is as busy as it is. Birdman, Stunna Island, Palm Island Mansion. There are rap mansions, and then there is Stunna Island. Birdman. Brian Williams, co-founder of Cash Money Records, the man who built one of the most commercially dominant record labels in hip-hop history, purchased the sprawling estate at 70 Palm Avenue in Miami Beach in 2012 for $14.5 million from Rockstar Energy drink founder Russell Weiner. He renamed it Stunna Island and proceeded to turn it into the most publicly, unapologetically, glitteringly extravagant property in this entire video. Gold accents, chrome details, animal print wallpapers, a custom gold-plated toilet in one of the bathrooms. This was not a home designed to whisper. This was a home designed to announce. The mansion had been built in 2004 and had passed through the hands of music producer Scott Storch before Weiner acquired it around 2010 for roughly $7 million. Birdman bought it at more than double that price and immediately began transforming it with flashy customizations. The estate appeared in multiple Cash Money music videos, most notably his 2016 single Breathe. Unfortunately, financial pressures mounted, and in 2017, a lender filed a foreclosure lawsuit seeking to reclaim the property over an unpaid approximate $12 million mortgage. After years of failed sale attempts, the listing peaked at $20 million and dropped as low as $13.5. The property sold out of receivership in 2020 for $10.85, $85 million to investor Teddy Trusso, who later renovated it extensively and attempted relistings as high as $33.9 million. The property sits on Palm Island itself, a tiny gated enclave with bridge-only access and 24-hour security. The estate features 100 linear feet of direct canal and Biscayne Bay waterfront, with a private dock capable of accommodating a 100-foot yacht. There are 2 resort-style swimming pools with lounge decks, a sand volleyball court, expansive grassy lawns, an outdoor summer kitchen with a built-in pizza oven, multiple terraces and balconies, and a 4- to 6-car climate-controlled garage. Inside, the grand foyer features soaring 40-foot ceilings with an imperial staircase, a massive crystal chandelier, and marble floors. The great room flows to direct water views and an onyx entertainer's bar. The home theater seats 13. There are 2 separate temperature-controlled wine cellars. The master suite runs to approximately 3,500 square feet with his and hers bathrooms, dual walk-in closets, a private sitting area with fireplace, and bay view balconies. And then, of course, there is the legendary solid gold toilet, custom gold-plated, featured in virtually every media account of the property and perfectly, absolutely, undeniably on brand for the man who co-founded Cash Money Records and spent the better part of 2 decades personifying the phrase Stunna. Whatever Stunna Island's financial story as a statement of artistic identity and pure hip-hop personality, it is one of the most memorable properties on this entire list. Rick Ross, The Promised Land. And we close, as we absolutely must, in Georgia, because the final entry on this list is in many ways the most extraordinary of all of them. Not because of its architectural pedigree or its ocean views or its custom crystal chandeliers, but because of what it represents. The single most dramatic value transformation on this entire list, and perhaps one of the most remarkable celebrity real estate stories in American history. Rick Ross, William Leonard Roberts II, the Maybach Music Group founder, the boss, purchased a mega mansion in Fayetteville, Georgia in 2014 for $5.8 million out of foreclosure from former boxing champion Evander Holyfield. Today, that same property is conservatively estimated at $30 to $35 million, with some assessments going higher when you factor in the land value, the renovations, the event revenue, and the 2019 expansion that added an adjacent 87-acre parcel for $1 million, pushing the total holdings to somewhere between 235 and 322 acres of rolling Georgia countryside. The home was originally built in 1994 for Evander Holyfield as a custom mega mansion named Villa Toriosa. After Holyfield's financial troubles led to foreclosure, Ross, already living nearby, spotted the for sale sign during his daily drives, made a U-turn, and closed the deal swiftly. He renamed it the Promised Land, a title loaded with personal symbolism. A man who grew up in Carver homes in Carroll City, Florida, now owning a property of this scale in the American South on his own terms as a direct expression of everything he had worked for. The estate appeared in the 2021 film Coming to America, standing in as the Zamunda Palace, which, given the property's scale, required precisely zero suspension of disbelief from the audience. The numbers are almost satirically large. 109 rooms total, 12 bedrooms, 21 full bathrooms, a dining room that seats 100 guests, a 135-seat private movie theater, a full-size indoor basketball court, a professional-grade gym, a bowling alley, a Roman-inspired indoor pool with swim-up bar, a recording studio, a grand foyer with sweeping red-carpeted double staircases and golden lighting, and outside the centerpiece of the entire compound, the thing that arguably puts the Promised Land in a category entirely its own: a 350,000-gallon outdoor pool. One of the largest residential pools in the entire United States, maintained by a dedicated crew of 4, and the site of Ross' annual public pool parties and car shows that generate significant revenue and bring thousands of people to his property every year. The monthly electricity bill reportedly runs approximately $17,000. Ross maintains the grounds personally, famously mowing the lawn himself on an air-conditioned tractor, and keeps 2 buffaloes, for horses, and a bull on the property. He has called it a place of pride and connection to nature, a space that grounds him while simultaneously announcing to anyone who sees it exactly what is possible when talent, discipline, and the right real estate opportunity converge at precisely the right moment. From a $5.80 $8 million foreclosure to a property worth $35 million plus with a 350,000-gallon pool, 109 rooms, and live buffaloes on the grounds. The Promised Land is, without question, the most Rick Ross thing that has ever existed.
Took me on a vacation with him. Now, I ain't gonna lie. We had our own private jet, everything. We went out to the islands and like some shit way out in the deep out there.
That was Warren Gass revealing how Dr. Dre disappears on private island. And getaways. But Dre isn't alone. From Jay-Z spending 38 days in the air in his mega jet, to Drake's $285 million flying casino, Kanye's 4-mile flight, and Eminem's secret $3 million missions. In this video, we're looking at how the richest rap legends in the game travel. Let's start with Jay-Z. Let's kick things off with the one and only Sean Corey Carter, better known to the world as Jay-Z __ the man, the blueprint himself. We're talking about a mogul sitting pretty on approximately $2.5 billion as of 2026, making him not just one of the richest rappers, but one of the wealthiest entertainers on the entire planet. Period. Now, when you got bread like that stacking up, you ain't catching no Spirit Airlines flights. You feel me? Jay-Z moves different, and his primary whip in the sky is a Bombardier Challenger 850 valued at $40 million. And here's the kicker, fam. This joint was a Father's Day gift from his Queen Beyoncé back in 2012. That's right. While most of us were getting ties and gift cards, have unwrapped a whole private jet customized with buttersoft leather interiors, a full bedroom suite for those transatlantic power naps, and space for 19 passengers so the whole Rock Nation family can roll together in style. But wait, that ain't even a half of it. Jay also keeps a Gulfstream V in the stable, valued at around $40 million. And this bird puts in work. We're talking 291 flights in 2024 alone, covering 386,642 miles. That's equivalent to 38 days straight up in the air. The man literally spent more than a month airborne. And most of us didn't even know because he keeps his itineraries masked through LLC ownership, keeping the paparazzi guessing every single time. And peep this, have just used these jets for himself. He sends them for his people, too. Scrappy put the world on game about how Jay moves.
And I was like, we're gonna make it. I was like, but how we gonna get there? He said he got y'all a private jet. I was like, oh. Yeah, okay. It was my first time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we get on the jet and whatever. I'm on that bitch. I'm like, oh shit, like this is, you know.
This is what it said.
And it was a real one. It wasn't no like with the propellers and shit. It was a real joint, you know what I'm saying?
That's how Hub operates. Fam sending private jets for Scrappy, and Lil Jon just to perform at a concert in Atlanta. First class treatment for the whole squad. No questions asked. Real talk though, Hav's secretive style has caught some heat, too. In December 2025, his Gulfstream V took a controversial 12-minute empty repositioning flight from Los Angeles to Camaro, California, burning through 354 L of fuel at 535s and dropping nearly a ton of CO2 into the atmosphere. Critics came for his neck about environmental waste, but that's the price of keeping your actual movements hidden from prying eyes. And when Jay wants to disappear onto the water, he charters mega yachts like the 350-foot Lana at $2 million per week or the 450-foot Flying Fox. That's a $400 million vessel running $4 million weekly, complete with helipads for seamless jet-o yacht transfers, private cinemas, spas, the whole nine. A 2021 birthday trip for Beyoncé on the Flying Fox in the Mediterranean had the entire crew signing NDAs, making sure not a single word leaked about those onboard celebrations. All of this funded by his $220 million in cash reserves from Roc Nation and investments. That's boss moves on boss moves. Speaking of customized private jets that double as flying mansions for secretive getaways, let's talk about another chart-topping legend who took aerial luxury to a whole different stratosphere.
Drake.
Yo, when we talk about taking private aviation to another level, we got to put some respect on Aubrey Drake Graham's name. The Six God himself is sitting on approximately $250 million in 2026. And he has absolutely revolutionized what it means to travel secretly in style with his crown jewel known as Air Drake. Now listen, we ain't talking about some regular private jet here. Fam Drake's ride is a fully customized Boeing 767 valued at $185 million with an additional $100 million in upgrades. This thing was originally a cargo plane gifted by Cargo Jet back in 2019, and Drizzy transformed it into what can only be described as a flying palace dripping in ovo owl motifs everywhere you look. We're talking 3 private suites, for couches that feel like clouds, a full movie room bathed in purple LED lighting, a lounge area for the crew to kick back, and get this, a custom gambling table for those Madeira card games when you're cruising at 40,000 feet, and just how private is Air Drake? Let the man himself tell you.
How private is the plane?
It's private.
Can you walk around in your underwear?
I could, I guess. I mean, I travel pretty heavy.
You don't wear underwear?
No, I said I travel heavy.
What does that mean?
It's not like it's not a...
It sounded dirty. I don't know.
It's not like
I have no idea what you're trying to say, but it sounded...
You hear that? The man said he could walk around in his underwear, if he wanted. That's the level of privacy we're talking about. And when he says he travels heavy, he means that entourage is deep.
Bam.
The specs on this bird are absolutely insane. With a 7,200 nautical mile range, Air Drake can hit non-stop transatlantic flights at 500 mph per cruising speed. But luxury like this don't come cheap. We're talking operational costs around $700,000 to $1 million per trip when you factor in fuel, maintenance, and crew expenses. But here's where the secrecy comes into play, y'all. Drake uses this massive aircraft for some real low-key maneuvers. There was a 14-minute repositioning flight from Hamilton to Toronto in 2024, specifically to evade paparazzi during some of his high-profile feuds. Another time, a 2025 European excursion to Ibiza and France had him doing discreet recording sessions amid all those rap beefs with NDAs for the entire crew and entourage, making sure nothing leaked to the blogs. In July 2025, Drake shared a video tour post-renovation, flexing the cinema and poker table he uses for high-stakes games while flying to Barbados vacations. Now, critics have come for him about emissions running 10-ton 20x higher than commercial flights. But when you're Drizzy, you move how you want to move. For the water vibes, Drake charters $660,000 week vessels like the Coral Ocean, often landing Air Drake anonymously and transitioning seamlessly to yacht life for those hybrid escapes to places like Sweden or New Zealand. Word on the street is he even leases the jet for $10 million annually to offset costs, turning it into a revenue-generating flying mansion, all funded by those music royalties, OVO Empire, and stake partnerships. Now, speaking of aerial creativity and jets that serve as mobile studios for artistic genius, let's shift our attention to one of the most controversial and innovative minds in hip-hop history. Kanye West? Y'all already know when we mention controversy mixed with creative, genius, and extravagant spending. We got to talk about Kanye West, now legally known as Ye. This man's net worth has been on a whole roller coaster ride, fluctuating around $400 million in 2026 due to all the ongoing controversies and business ventures that keep making headlines. But his travel game that stays premium regardless. Flagship ride in the sky is nothing short of legendary. A double-decker Boeing 747 valued at over $200 million, gifted by Adidas during the peak Yeezy collaboration days. We're talking multiple bedrooms, so the whole family can sleep comfortably. A full gym for those in-flight workout sessions, a chill room specifically designed for creative sessions and brainstorming, and marble bathrooms throughout because why not? When you're Ye, even your bathroom situation got to be architectural.
With them, talking to us direct, talking to me in GLC direct.
For those quicker, more discreet hops when the 747 is overkill. Kanye keeps a Bombardier Global Express in a fleet valued between $40 million. And the man ain't slowing down. There were plans in 2025 to invest $100 million in 2 new jets, a Gulfstream G650ER at $38 million and a DAW Falcon 900LX at $40 million. Both getting the full Yeezy treatment with custom interiors and $40,000 Italian leather seats. The plan? Rent them out to the elite for income while he recovers financially. Genius moves, honestly. Real talk, some of Ye's travel stories are absolutely wild. A 2018 Tokyo trip on the 747 with then-wife Kim Kardashian during her pregnancy involved fashion scouting, onboard workouts, and NDAs for everyone involved, while the empty plane repositioned separately to avoid detection, catching unnecessary backlash in the process. Then there's the infamous 2022 4-mile Los Angeles flight that set a shortness record, hidden via proxies, so nobody could track him moving literally across town by air. In 2024, a Saudi trip utilized helicopter transfers from the jet to completely evade ground traffic for those secretive meetings. And rumors swirled about a 2025 Adriatic escape involving disguises and yacht links amid all the divorce proceedings. Because when you're Ye, even your getaways got to have a Mission Impossible element to them. For yacht life, Kanye charters vessels with helipads for seamless jet-to-sea transitions, often coding them under different names for elite networking purposes. All of this backed by Yeezy's $3 billion valuation in music royalties, blending that endless search for inspiration with maximum privacy. Speaking of legendary producers who keep their travel low-key while living that billionaire lifestyle, let's head to the West Coast and talk about the man who literally created the sound of modern hip-hop, Dr. Dre. Yo, when we talk about real West Coast royalty moving in silence, we got to put massive respect on Andre Ramel Young. Dr. Dre himself, the man responsible for discovering Eminem, molding Snoop Dogg, and building the Beats empire, is sitting on approximately $850 million in 2026. And his travel style matches that billionaire status, while keeping things surprisingly low-key. Unlike some of these other legends who own massive fleets, Dre prefers to charter or rent twin-engine long-range jets like the Bombardier Global Express, valued at $36 million. These birds offer 6,500 nautical mile ranges for nonstop global hops with annual operational costs running around $10 million when you factor in fuel, crew, and maintenance. Smart money moves right there. All the luxury, none of the ownership headaches.
Took me on a vacation with him. Now I ain't gonna lie, we had our own private jet, everything. We went out to the islands and like some way out in the deep out there.
That story Warren G shared pure legend status. The man described a coming to America-style Bahamas trip with Dr. Dre that involved a private jet to a smaller plane, then transitioning to a yacht complete with open windows, dolphin swims in 84 degrees humidity, and NDAs for the entire entourage to make sure nothing leaked. That's the Dre experience right there. In 2025, an Italy cruise on the NIA yacht had Dre welcomed by crew in full formation, preceded by a jet hop with the empty plane repositioning separately to avoid any detection. The man moves like a ghost when he wants to. Now, let's talk about the Nia for a second because this boat is insane. We're talking a 240-foot vessel valued at $60 million chartering for $580,000 per week, equipped with helipads for those jet-o yacht transitions, jacuzzis, full bars, a 5-person submarine. Yes, you heard that right, a submarine, and inflatables for water slides. And here's the big brain move. When Dre ain't using it, he charters it out for profit, turning luxury into revenue streams. A 2025 Mediterranean escape on the NIA featured ocean views and even Antarctic capabilities for those who want to take it to the extreme. All of this funded by that $70 million USC donation and property investments, including a $40 million Tom Brady estate purchase. Dre even does eco-conscious offsets amid all the opulence. Billionaire with a conscience. Now, speaking of the artist Dre discovered and transformed into one of the biggest names in rap history, let's talk about a man who values privacy above almost everything else when it comes to his travels. Eminem. When we mention rappers who truly value privacy and use their wealth for quiet good rather than flashy displays, we got to give it up for Marshall Bruce Matts III. Eminem, Slim Shady, the rap god himself. Sitting on $250 million in 2026 from his Slim Shady empire and those timeless music royalties, M travels in a way that reflects his personality. Ultra-private, family-focused, and philanthropic. M's primary ride is a Gulfstream G650 valued at $70 million and customized for low-profile trips with all the amenities you'd expect. Bedroom suite, entertainment systems, and that distinctive privacy that Eminem craves. The jet's 7,500 nautical mile range supports long-haul flights at Mach 0.925. That's near supersonic speed, y'all. With cost running around $1 million per major trip, including maintenance.
I got on a plane and I was thinking of this flow in my head. And then all of a sudden the piano started coming to me. And I just kept repeating the melody so I didn't forget it. And I kind of wrote the song on the plane.
That's Eminem right there using flight time creatively. The man literally wrote The Way I Am while flying to LA to record with Dr. Dre. That's how legends operate, turning every moment into productivity. Real-world scenarios show just how Private M keeps things. A 2024 LA landing for Drive Dre's Walk of Fame ceremony was tracked but stayed secretive through the use of proxies. Then in 2025, an emergency Detroit flight after daughter Haley's call about baby Elliot had M vanishing completely post-landing to avoid any media coverage. Family first always. But here's where Eminem really separates himself from the pack. In 2025, a Jamaica relief flight delivered $3 million in unmarked aid crates post-hurricane, kept completely under wraps with NDAs for the entire crew. That's the shady. We don't hear about the philanthropist moving in silence, giving back without needing the world to know. Yachts are rare for M, but he charters for seclusion when needed, often linking to jet hops for those moments when he needs to completely disappear. A 2025 Mediterranean charter was rumored for family downtime amid all those trademark battles, because even the rap god needs a break sometimes. All funded by shady records and endorsements. This approach prioritizes quiet giving over flashy flexing. And that's real hip-hop right there. Now, let's transition from one West Coast legend to another. From the man who kept it quiet to the man who keeps it smoky. Literally Snoop Dogg. All right, y'all know we couldn't do this list without talking about the Dog G himself, Snoop Dogg. The Long Beach legend is sitting on approximately $160 million in 2026 from his cannabis empire, broadest foods, media ventures, and that timeless music catalog, and his travel style. Let's just say it matches his whole vibe. Laid back, but definitely premium. Snoop rolls with a $50 million private jet that he's customized for, you guessed it, cannabis-friendly sessions. Now, this is legendary because back in 2015, he got kicked off a flight for smoking. But when you own the plane, you make the rules, baby. The jet also features pet accommodations because the dog father takes his actual dogs with him wherever he goes. Annual operational costs run around $10 million for keeping everything running smooth.
Like, this either the moment you niggas gonna kill me, and we're gonna get some clarity in this air. We got a 5.5-hour flight. I ain't got no security.
That's Snoop keeping it real about some of the tensest moments in private aviation. The man has stories for days about his early jet experiences. His first death row jet ride involved everything on board, if you know what I mean. A 2024 flight with his dog went viral, but stayed secretive overall, using repositioning flights to evade trackers and keep his movements under wraps. In 2025, a Saudi trip turned royal after some initial jewelry denial issues. But with NDAs hiding all the juicy details, we might never know exactly what went down. That's the Snoop way. Keep them guessing while you're smoking, floating, and living your best life. For yacht vibes, Snoop charters for relaxation, often jet-linked for those seamless sky-to-sea transitions. A 2025 Diamond Bar mansion vibe extended to seascapes where the dog father could kick back, light up, and enjoy the waves without a single worry. All funded by Death Row Records ownership, Broad Foods, and all those brand partnerships. That's generational wealth building right there while staying true to the chill West Coast lifestyle. Speaking of artists who move fast and stay secretive, let's shift from the laid-back dog father to one of the most high-energy performers in the game today, Travis Scott. When we talk about new generation rap stars who've mastered the art of secretive travel while maintaining that rock star energy, we got to put respect on Jacob Berman Webster too, Travis Scott. La Flame himself is sitting on approximately $80 million in 2026, and his aerial fleet matches that stadium-filling world touring lifestyle. Travis rolls with an Embraer E190 valued at $72 million plus a Boeing 767 for those massive tour operations. The E190 alone logged 404,644 miles in 2024 across 294 flights. That's nearly circling the entire globe 16 times in a single year. The customization costs are no joke either, running around $23.5 million for yacht-inspired interior features. Because when you're Travis Scott, even your jet got to feel like a floating party.
By the back of the bus, yeah. Now I jump off of a jet.
That bar right there tells the whole story. From tour buses to private jets, that's the evolution of La Flame. Now Travis has caught some heat for his travel habits, too. Those 2-minute repositioning flights have been criticized heavily for waste. But when you're moving at Travis's pace, sometimes you need that bird in position at a moment's notice. A 2024 Montreal post-con departure was handled with maximum secrecy, in and out before anyone even knew he'd left the venue. In 2025, a Sydney arrival via jet for tour purposes evaded crowds completely, the flame appearing and disappearing like smoke. For yacht life, Travis goes big. $22 million charters with his girlfriend, often doing that jet-o-yacht transition for ultimate privacy. When you're one half of one of entertainment's most famous couples, sometimes you just need to float away from all the attention. And Travis has mastered that art perfectly, all funded by his Utopia empire, Nike deals, and those record-breaking tours. Now, let's move from the young Houston king to another larger-than-life personality who's built an empire on boss moves and doesn't hold back when it comes to luxury, Rick Ross. When we talk about living the biggest boss life, we got to talk about William Leonard Roberts, too. Rick Ross rose, the biggest boss that we've seen thus far. The MMG head honcho is sitting on approximately $150 million in 2026. And trust me when I say his travel game matches that rich forever lifestyle he's built his entire brand around. Ross flies in a $35 million Gulfstream G5550 he calls rich forever. And here's the thing about Ross. The man doesn't charter this bird out to nobody. This is his personal throne in the sky with a 6,750-mile range for those international boss moves. The customization is all Rick premium everything because when your roast mediocrity ain't in the vocabulary.
Never let nobody dictate your desires. I remember it was at one point they used to say, Rose, why would you buy so many cars? You don't have my vision. Now I'm finna put a successful car show together. By the time I put my third one, I've been and made all the money I spent in cars and profit.
That right there is the Ross mentality. Vision that others can't see until it's already executed. The same way he flipped cars into car shows, he flips luxury travel into business opportunities. Real talk, the stories about Ross' jet life are legendary. His first flight was a family trip to the Bahamas, bringing the whole Roberts clan along to experience that elevated lifestyle. In 2025, Ross threw hangar parties that stayed secretive. Imagine pulling up to an airplane hangar, and it's a whole event with Rose hosting in front of his G5550. That's boss behavior. For water moves, Ross keeps a $6 million Lamborghini yacht, often jet-linked for those seamless transitions from sky to sea. When you're known for Port of Miami and Bury Me AG, you got to have the boats to match the lyrics. There's speculation about 10K polishes keeping everything pristine because Rick Ross doesn't do anything half-measure. All his moves are about tripling wealth. Every dollar spent is an investment waiting to return multiplied. Now, let's transition from the biggest boss to another Southern legend who's kept it real through decades of chart-topping hits and some of the most publicized personal struggles in rap history, Lil Wayne. Yo, we gotta put massive respect on Dwayne Michael Carter Jr., Lil Wayne, Wheezy Fab, Tanichi, the best rapper alive. This New Orleans legend is sitting on approximately $170 million in 2026. And his travel story is one of resilience, controversy, and that unmistakable YMC swagger. Now, Wayne's jet situation has been complicated. Let's say the man charters jets amid lawsuits. There was a whole $2 million unpaid bill situation back in 2019 that made headlines. And real talk, Wayne's flights have been searched for contraband more times than we can count, which adds a whole layer of complexity to his travel game. But when Wheezy touches down international, he moves like the boss he is. No compromises. Peep how he handled customs in Saudi Arabia. You hear that energy? Customs told him his jewelry was too much. Over 25K got to be declared. And Wayne said, forget all that. Walked right back on his private jet. That's that no-nonsense. I got my own plane energy right there. When you fly private, you make the rules. The real stories, though, the 2019 Miami raid found drugs and a firearm on board. Wayne has never been shy about living his truth, and sometimes that truth comes with consequences. Back in 2015, he got kicked off for smoking. Seems like that's a common issue for these legends. Huh? But Wayne bounces back every single time. That Saudi trip eventually turned into royal treatment once they realized who they were dealing with. Secretive details locked down tight. The man's resilience is legendary, going from controversy to VIP treatment like it's nothing. For yacht vibes, there's been talk of custom gold-plated everything. Because when you're Wayne, regular luxury just doesn't cut it. The $50 million lifestyle keeps rolling regardless of the obstacles funded by Young Money Records, decades of timeless music, and that Carter V resurgence. Wayne's travel game proves one thing. No matter what happens, Tanichi always finds a way to stay flying. And if customs got a problem with his ice, he'll just sit on his jet until they figure it out. Now, we've saved one of the most controversial figures for last. A mogul whose travel empire once represented the absolute pinnacle of hip-hop luxury, but whose story has taken a dramatically different turn in recent years. Sean Diddy Combs. All right, y'all. We got to address the elephant in the room. Sean John Combs, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Love Diddy, whatever you want to call him. This mogul's travel story is one of the most complex in hip-hop history. With a net worth hovering around $400 million in 2026, amid all the legal troubles, Diddy once represented the absolute peak of secretive luxury travel in the culture. But things have changed dramatically. For years, Diddy's crown jewel was his Gulfstream G5550 Love Air valued at $60 million. A matte black beauty with beige interiors designed for 14 passengers. Pet-friendly features for those who rolled with animals and entertainment systems to keep the party going from takeoff to touchdown. That bird logged 332 flights in 2024 alone, covering 466,650 miles. The man was literally living in the sky.
My first time in this thing.
That was Diddy touring his new aircraft with pure excitement. A man at the top of his game enjoying the fruits of his empire. The jet earned $4.1 million from 126 charters since his 2024 arrest, turning luxury into income, even while dealing with legal battles. But here's where the story gets dark. Bam! That same aircraft was allegedly used for what authorities called freak-off parties that started midair under NDAs, activities that would later become central to his legal troubles. During the 2024 home raids, the jet fled to Antigua as a potential flight risk indicator, having traveled 150,000 m to spots like French Polynesia and Baja, Mexico, with passengers sometimes unaware of the ownership amid sex trafficking investigations. Post-2025 conviction on prostitution charges, everything changed. The jet was re-registered in San Marino and sold for between $30 million in October 2025, with charters hiding his involvement through brokers like Silver Air. What once represented ultimate hip-hop success became evidence in courtrooms for yachts. Diddy chartered vessels for global parties. Those 2005 MTV ads boasting secretive yacht events were legendary at the time, but now the hybrid jet-to-yacht escapes have scaled back dramatically due to all the scandals. Diddy's story is a cautionary tale, y'all. Proof that all the jets, all the yachts, all the secretive moves in the world can't hide the truth forever. Once funded by Sir Bad Boy and that untouchable empire, Diddy's travel legacy now reflects a dramatic downsizing from king of the skies to legal downfall on the ground. Fam. If you enjoyed this video, click on any of the cards on your screen and keep it locked.